Hello, and welcome back. We are back in the Red Dead land. I'm going to do some hunting tonight, and while we're hunting, I am going to tell you all about Peter Kurten, the vampire of Dusseldorf. And I hope I'm saying his name right, because it is a German name, so excuse me. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments. Okay, so... my cords got stuck. Okay. So, Peter was around during the time after World War I and in Germany. And if you don't know, Germany during that time was rough. Oh, that's for Milkweed. So after the war, just a tiny taste of German history. After World War I, the Germans owed a lot of people a lot of money. All the countries they went to war with gave them no slack, should we say, and they kind of put the whole war on their backs for repentance. So, economy, total shit. The German government was just printing money like crazy, causing its worth to like plummet. So it would be like, this is a huge exaggeration, but like $100 for a loaf of bread, you know? And that is ridiculous. So he grew up very poor, super poor. He was one of 13 fuckers, and so it's technically more than 13 because he's one child of 13. Then you have the two parents who were drunks, angry drunks, that he would say would abuse him. And they all lived in a one-bedroom apartment, which he would also say is a reason behind why he is the way he is. So we think he claims his first kill was when he was 9. Oops, didn't mean to do that. And that he was out with some friends. Oh, a turtle. Drop this on my horse. He was out with some friends on a raft when sweet. When he decided to just push the one friend off the raft, because he knew he couldn't swim and he just wanted to see what would happen. The other friend then panicked and went and jumped in after the non-swimming friend. So Peter just sat back and watched as both these boys struggled, and then he kept them from getting back on the raft, so both boys ended up drowning. Now, this never went in as a murder or anything because everyone just thought 3 boys in a lake, kids drown, shit happens, sucks for them. So they ended up I'm sorry. My mind is just a fart today. It's just a giant fart. Happy Monday, everybody. Okay. What was that? Okay. Why is Bad Guys sounds playing? So then when he's 11, a man moves into his building who is is a dog catcher. And this man also does a good job of teaching him how to love animals. And not just like regular love animals, you know, really bad way of loving animals. The gross way. The cover your kids' ears way. You know what I'm saying? Like, the illegal way. So Peter would then put that into practice. Around 1895 is when his family moved to Dusseldorf, where he would do most of his crimes. At 13 is when he gets his first girlfriend, and she's all about first base in it. Maybe a little second base, but he was never making it home. So around this time, he would let out some of that energy on the local, the local farm life. You know, cows, sheeps, and the such. He would also, this is a time when he learned that not only is fucking these animals super fun, but if you stab them a lot, oh, that just makes you come even faster. So, so one night when he's doing his sheep, the farmer does hear it screaming and decides to check on it. Now, he would get run off. He would get caught this way, but not caught officially. Like, there was no, like, he didn't see who he was. But this just scare him enough to make him go, okay, maybe I should stop sneaking onto these farms, because I'm going to get caught. It was all when he's 16, around that time, his father would make him go work in the foundry, and he hated this job with a passion. But lucky for him, pretty soon after that, his father would get arrested for having incestual sexual relations with his sister. And he would even admit that he sometimes would do these things with her too. Later, you know, he didn't get convicted at this point for that. So, with his father now in prison, he decides, fuck this foundry, fuck this family, I'm out. And he steals a bunch of money and he fucking runs away and leaves. And to support himself while he's on his own, he just decides petty crimes are the way to go. B&Es. That's what he likes. And which he would go to jail for because he wasn't great at not getting caught. So he'd go to jail a couple times, and he would also say prison is another reason why he was a monster. But seeing as you can't say things made you a monster, but then also you killed 2 people at 9 years old. You know, I feel like there's a bit of a contradictory there. But anyways, excuse me, I got his age wrong. He was younger than 16 when he started working at the foundry. Now at 16, this is when he'd do his first, like, sexual assault. He picks up a girl, she's 18. They go have a little date at a park, and where once they get over to the lake to sit down and chill, decides to rape her and choke her out. Excuse me. And choke her out. And he thought he killed her, so, like, he got up and ran, but he didn't kill her. So luckily, a couple hours later, she does wake up, and she goes straight to the cops. And he would be found doing another B&E. So he goes to jail again for B&E and assault. And so he spends a little more time in jail now because of that. He also finds during this jail stint that if he got solitary confinement, ooh, the things his imagination could do. He would just imagine these horrible, sick scenarios. And then he would go, oh, yay. I just came in my pants without ever touching myself. How nice. Ooh, don't attack me. Oh, here's one. There we go. I can never keep them 3-star. I guess I have to shoot them too much. But arrows don't even touch the gators. Anyways, so with this new skill, he does, excuse me, we got past that. Okay. He sexually assaults the woman. He goes to jail. He gets out. So he is now 29 when he gets out of that jail stint of learning how to like get into solitary and please himself by not touching himself, just dreaming terrible things. So, oh, my horse just made a bunch of gators mad, I think. So now that he's out, he's going back to B&E's. And now it's 1913, and he starts doing B&Es, and he breaks in one night. He really loved doing the type of B&Es where like an apartment was above the business, those type, especially if they were bars, because he knew downstairs would be super loud and no one would really hear him coming, and then they'd probably be too busy to come back up to their house. So, crap, he's in the water. Didn't even affect him. So he breaks into one such bar one night, goes upstairs, and unfortunately for these parents, they had left their 9-year-old daughter sleeping. And when he sees this, he goes ahead and rapes and suffocates her. This story kind of gets crazy. So, while this story did make huge headlines, the police initially went straight for the uncle, because the uncle had just recently, like a week before, told his brother, you gotta stop leaving the little girl there or someone's gonna hurt her. So now the police are like, oh, so you threatened your brother. And he's like, I didn't. Unfortunately for him also, in this fucked up shit. So Peter did drop a handkerchief with his initials on it. So, you'd think, oh, the uncle will be cleared. No. Excuse me. This is sleepy time, apparently. Okay. No, because the poor uncle had the same exact initials, PK. This poor bastard. He wouldn't go to jail for it. He would be let off. But Peter found, because this case got on the news, Peter found that he loved the attention. He loved it so much that not only would he go back to the little girl's grave to come on her grave, but he would also like watch the newscast and like go around the building and even try to insert himself a little bit, just to be a part of the case. I guess since I already made it back here, I will turn all this stuff in. So he loved this so much that he would then, he would take a Margaret Schaefer, who he would try to rape. So the first time, why did I just gain gold? The first time he tried it, he immediately, she starts screaming and stuff and crying, and this for some reason does deter him. So he
anything's better than nothing.
So he stops, but he keeps walking with her, and he eventually asks her to sit down, so she sits down with him, and then they kind of both fall asleep on this bench. Well, when she wakes up, she wakes him up, which I gotta say, I don't ever victim blame, but ladies, if someone tries to rape you, and you do get him to stop, but he wants to keep you, and you get him to fall asleep, don't wake him up. Don't do that. Quietly get the fuck out of there. But she woke him up to have him walk her back home. And he walks a little more with her, and then he tries to rape her again. And then she starts screaming again, but this time she starts telling him how he's a bad person, and people are going to judge him. So this does get him to stop. So she luckily would get out with her life and not being raped. He also decides in this day to do some axing. He's like, hey, raping and choking's fun, so let's see what it's like to just axe people. So, and like literally just walking down the street with an axe, whacks 2 people with it. Just one swing, a whack and a run. And So that got his jollies off. He found he really likes to see blood spatter there. He would also kill another woman pretty soon after the axings by just bludgeoning her, just beating her to death. He also was walking through a park after beating this woman to death, and saw an old man just sitting on a bench and was like, "Hey, I still have this weapon. Let's go hit him too," and whacked him up against the side of the head a couple times. I think the old man did survive though. And this is where he's really like, stabbing cows while fucking them really got my jollies off. But I don't even need to fuck anybody. I just need to see their blood, and I'm gonna come in my pants. So he also decides that the crazier the scenario, the better, because then he's gonna get on the news too. So then he breaks into another home, and he rapes and chokes a 16-year-old. Now, he would discover with her that I don't think I can even sell the turtle bits, so I guess I'll stop killing the turtles. I missed. Stop walking. Thank you. Shoot your butt. There we go. But luckily, when he was choking her, he was so rough about it, she started to bleed from her mouth, and he came and he bolted, because he would learn that as long as he came, he would leave. So if you were lucky enough, which I know, horrible, but if you're lucky enough and he was able to come within a couple stabs or choking, then he would let you go and he just run away. It seemed to be his only goal was to come. He didn't give two shits about witnesses or anything. So she would survive that attack. He would then go back to jail because he was also really into arson. And but also watching his stuff burn down, so it was really easy to catch him. So he ends up back in prison. Now this time in prison, he's really unhappy because he is being beaten by guards and somebody screaming, or was that the horse? He was being beaten by guards and prisoners, and he would go on a huge tangent when he's being interviewed about his killings, about how it's so unfair, people shouldn't be beaten, you shouldn't be beating people, which is just so fucking he literally snuck up behind a man, he's killed children, he snuck up behind an old man and hit him in the head, but when he's getting beaten, well, now it's unfair, the system ain't right. I'm gonna need him to, practice what you preach, bro. So he would dislike his stint here so much that he would cause a mutiny. Uh-oh. Oh no, my controller died. Where's my charger? Oh no. Is this it? Yep, I got it. So he caused the mutiny, right? And some bigwigs get stuck in it, like office dudes. So then he's like, oh wait, hold up on that mutiny. See, I can't turn into anything that's oh, I can order supplies. Let's do that.
That'll work too.
There you go. I got some supplies. And turtle doesn't count, apparently. So he gets the bigwig out of the office, like out of the danger, and the bigwig's like, oh, here, take 7 months off your stay. Which I'm just like, how did that make sense to anybody? Dude has been charged with assault, okay? He's been charged with it. I know it's older. He's constantly burning shit down. He's constantly breaking and entering. why are we letting him out? I don't understand where that makes any sense to anybody at all. Because it really is like, I mean, I get rehabilitation, but if someone truly only did something like one time or whatever, then you wouldn't have them up in the ante. It'd be like, yes, I stole from a store to eat, you know, but that's the last time I'll ever do it. Okay, you were rehabilitated. You only get a couple months. But you get in for B&E and assault, and then you get out and start doing arsons. I don't think you should ever get back out. You know, like, maybe I'm the asshole, but I really feel like you shouldn't get back out. And if you're up in the ante, you're only going to keep up in it, and which he proves. He just keeps getting worse and worse. So he gets out early, and this time he moves over to where his sister's living, and she had made a friend, and this friend was also a murderer who just got out of jail. She murdered her husband, apparently. And at first, he's really into her, but she's like, I'm not really interested. And so guys, this is so romantic. So romantic. He threatens to kill her. And she finds this threat so threatening that she's just like, oh yeah, this dude would really kill me. Well, now I have to go out with him. So she does it. And they start going out. And he also threatens to kill her to marry him. That's how they got together that way. So she said yes, and they moved to a city together, and it will be 4 years. 4 years. He goes quiet. Excuse me. 4 years he goes quiet, and she claims that these are the happiest years of her life, or of their marriage, not of their life, but of their marriage. And let me add in here, she also says during this time, during the most peaceful years of her marriage, that he does beat her and rape her and cheat on her, but it was still the best 4 years ever. So clearly she's also not great at making decisions, or doesn't have a great compass on how men should be treating you. So he does end up having affairs, and he has two main side pieces, and he likes getting rough with them, and they're not crazy about this. And he gets a little too rough with one of the side pieces, and she actually turns him in for rape. And at first he tries to be like, man, I wouldn't. She liked it, blah, blah. But the courts are like, dude, no, go back to jail. So he gets a little more, but it's like all of 3 months. It was like nothing. So then he ends up, in 1925, he's out of jail now, and he picks up a Maria, and he rapes her in a cellar, but she is able to fight him off. She keeps her life. And then in 1929, he sets 28 fires. 28 fires! Okay? Also in 1929, he finds a Frau Kuhn, and he grabs her by her coat. Like, she's leaving a residence, and he grabs her by the coat, says, don't scream, and just starts stabbing the shit out of her. Luckily, she would scream and run away, so she would live, but he got her like 24 times, like 24 tabs. 6 days later, an 8-year-old is found. And she was burned. She looked like she had been freshly burned. And they think at first she was raped, but then upon doing more autopsy, they think he more like came on his hand and with his fingers inserted that into her, which is horrible, and then tried to burn. And he also stabbed her 13 times. He then would go, he would find a man named Herscher, and he would stab him 20 times. 6 weeks later, he would, oh shit, what did I write here? Oh, okay. So, 6 weeks later, so after stabbing someone 20 times, he kind of chills out. Within the 6 weeks, a mentally handicapped man is caught trying to snatch a woman. and he would end up being arrested for all of these crimes, and he would admit to it. He'd say, oh yeah, I totally did that. And the cops say he even had like information that you wouldn't have unless you did the crimes, right? So they think they got their guy. Cops are like, oh, pack it in, guys, we got the weirdo. Unfortunately, they'd be very wrong, and 3 more people would get stabbed within an hour. He just went on another stabbing spree. He then also, 4 days later, kills a 5-year-old and a 14-year-old. And people would say that they heard the 5-year-old crying in the night and screaming for her mommy. And this is why I'm also very into react. Call the cops. Shine a flashlight. Do anything. Like, you do need to stay safe. Don't get me wrong. But don't just, like, close your window and go, it was probably a wolf, when it's clearly somebody crying for their mother, you know? Because, yes, probably 9 times out of 10 it is going to be like a child crying for their mom, and the mom's like right there, and the kid's crying because it didn't get a lollipop, which is cool. Put eyes on it, see it, walk away, you know. But also that 1 out of 10 times that it's something horrific happening and you could have possibly helped in some way, help, you know. So then he would attack a Gertrude. She was 26. He gets her by the leg and tries to rape her. She fights him off. He gets pissed off about this. He does not like this. So he stabs her hard and a lot. And he ends up breaking his knife in her chest. She does survive this shit. But the cops now finally have a clue to who this guy is. And they're able to decipher, like take this knife and figure out where it could be bought from and stuff like that. But we are still talking like, you know, it's like the 1920s. So it's not huge, but it's big for them. It's something. They then find in Ida. She was found in a meadow, clearly raped, post-mortem. She was also bludgeoned. She was beat with a hammer in the head and then raped when she was dead. He also did this same thing to an Elizabeth. They found her a couple days later. Okay. He does start, he follows one woman down the street, and he ends up getting so pissed that she won't react to him that he just hits her in the head with a hammer. She does survive this, though. That same night, he smashes a prostitute in the head, but luckily the police find her, and she does survive. The cops find her and get her to a hospital, so she also survives. But with that body, he decides to write in a letter and go, oh, there's another one. So the cops go to where he says, and they do find 3 bodies, all stabbed by scissors. Oh, no, excuse me. They find the body. She was dead for 3 months, and she'd been stabbed with scissors and raped. Then he goes quiet. And while he's going quiet, the media is going to the cops' asses. They are like, why? You said somebody was caught. Nobody was caught. And I want to know, like, they're just like, nope, you can't tell me that you did all you could. So they're going to the cops' asses. So now the cops are like, fuck, we gotta get more serious. Now, this is where the story is coming to a close here soon. This is where the story gets really interesting and where it almost makes you question, is there fucking karma? Okay? So, months earlier, before the girls in the meadow even, he had taken a girl named Maria. And he found her, like, he's just going through, like, some public transportation. He sees her arguing with a man. So he walks up to offer help, and she's like, I just need to find the street. He goes, I know where that street is. Follow me. And she goes with him. She's trusting him. And she ends up back at his place for the night. So he ends up raping her many times. And But she does end up getting out of the situation. She kind of acts like she likes it, and she'll come back, and so she leaves, okay? And she tells nobody. She tells nobody. She does write this in, but months later, she decides she needs to write a friend. She needs to get this off her chest. So she puts it all in a letter and mails it to a friend. But that letter got messed up and did not make it to that friend, but to aha! It got me. Okay, but I got him. Oh shit, what's coming for me? Oh, the bobcat! Not the bobcat! I'm already low, not the bobcat! Where are you, bobcat? Oh, shit, he's coming. Ah, I'm gonna die! Shit. Oh! I got up the panther on me. I really wish I could get the panther. Panther's probably great skin to have. Anyways, sorry about that, guys. So the cops end up with this letter, and they go find her, and she's like, oh shit, okay, well, yes, that did happen. They're like, take us to his apartment, please. And she's like, okay. So she takes them to his apartment, but he sees them coming, so he's able to run beforehand. And during this little run time, he doesn't plan on totally escaping, but he gets in hold of his wife, and he's like, hey, I'm going down. I did a lot of horrible shit, like you wouldn't even know. So I need you. Look at this tiny, tiny school. Church. Wow. So he tells her, look, you need to be the one to turn me in. You'll get my ransom, and you'll be set while I go to prison. I'm going to go down for life. I've done really bad shit. And at first the wife is like, I'm not doing that to you. And he's like, no, seriously, fucking do it, because I'm going down either way. And this way, you will be set. So that's what she does. She turns him in, and she gets the money. And he missed everything. Writes it all down for them. Totally confesses. Now he would try to backtrack. So it's not like he would then try to go, oh, I didn't do any of that, or oh yeah, I did it, but it's because I was abused and stuff like that. But he'd get arrested, and he would go down for this. And he did get the death penalty. Now here's where I feel like I wish the county would have done something better. In his case, knowing he's such a crazy ass masochist, he gets beheaded. That's the way they wanted to do him. So they end up with his last words. He looks up at the doctor, and he's like, am I going to be able to feel and see this? And the doctor's like, I'm not answering that. Do you have any real last words? To which he's like, no. And he smiles at the crowd, and they then cut his head off. And disgustingly enough, I'm like, I think he definitely, dang, man, go down. My God. I think he came his pants, honestly. And it makes me mad. I wish he didn't have anything that would have brought him joy, you know? Like, maybe a blindfold and a quick shot to the head. He wouldn't get to see it, but he was sick. I don't know. But either way, he did die. He went down for it all. And so, yeah, that is your Vampire of Dusseldorf, Peter Kurten. A sick motherfucker, man. Sick. And I will say, at least in this one, unlike the last episode where, I think the cops wholeheartedly just fucked up that one and could have done a better job. I think with this one, I don't think the cops could have found him any faster. He was all over the fucking place. Now, I think maybe harsher prison sentencing could have saved some lives, or at least some trauma, because he did inflict a lot of trauma, but surprisingly enough, didn't necessarily kill that much. But, oh, that's a turtle. I didn't mean to shoot that. So, yeah. So thank you guys for following me. Please let me know anything you'd want to hear about. Anything. History, people, horror stories, hauntings, cryptids. I want to talk about it all. I want us all to like learn together, bro. Like, I love this shit. I love going down like ADHD fucking learning holes and what's truth and what's fiction, and even just learning what are the crazies talking about. I got a couple videos on like, did we go to the moon? There are people who don't believe we went to the moon. Do you? So I just love to have all these type of conversations. So let me know, like, share this video, comment on it, and interact, please. And you guys have a great day.